Hello everyone, and welcome to another game of World of Warships. Now today's replay is from Etivaz, and he is in the Midway, a tier 10 US carrier. He is on the map Sea of Fortune, in a 3-point domination game mode. Well, it's obviously a tier 10 battle, and surprisingly enough there wasn't a single tier 8 that got screwed over this time. Now I rarely show you carrier replays, because, well, carriers are, I guess, a little bit special. They offer some very different gameplay, and it's a lot more strategy, I guess, and a lot less action. But once in a while, there are some pretty amazing carrier battles out there. Now here in the beginning, we can see Etivaz is trying to spot the enemy gearing, and meanwhile he is also engaging enemy fighter planes. So both carriers are trying to strafe each other. Now you can't see the commands like you can see when he actually tells them to strafe, because the replay system for carriers sucks even worse than the regular replay system. And I have all the planes selected, so you can at least see when he tells them to go into a place, but you can't see exactly the manual drops or strafes that he sets up, which is a little bit sad. Now, overall, the friendly team seems to be rather passive here in the beginning. We have a Shimakaze here who is in a very interesting spot. I assume he went there just to be safe from the radar. Not sure if that's a great spot to survive. He's spotted by planes. But unfortunately, Etivaz fighters are currently down, and it will take a while to get new fighters. So the first exchange didn't go so well for the friendly carrier, I'd say. Now, he has Strikecraft incoming, and he can drop on a Des Moines. So, Des Moines, notable anti-air cruiser, almost full health. We have 2 dive bomber squadrons, and of course the Des Moines goes down. And that once more shows just what's wrong with current carriers. The immense burst, the damage that you can do early on, it's just too much. We can also see the friendly carrier got taken out. He was inside his own smoke screen, he was behind an island, and he got taken out not by radar but just by a carrier. And hey, here we have some torpedo bombers. Now remember, he just very recently basically one-shot at Des Moines. And now, yeah, okay, that Musashi gets to live. But that damage con of the Musashi is now down. He is on very low health, and if the friendly team manages to start a fire, then this Musashi is in pretty big trouble. And that's just not fun for anyone, well, except for probably the carrier. Carrier's strike potential currently is too much, and then there is the whole spotting potential. I mean, you saw early on the friendly carrier spotted the enemy destroyer, then the enemy carrier spotted the friendly destroyer, and so forth. Now enemy team got the A cap, that's a little bit problematic, I suppose. Friendly team is down 1 destroyer, and the friendly team's ships are still pretty passive. Now this game is still early, and the enemy team only has 1 cap. So, not too catastrophic. So, Strikecraft are rearming, but fighters are once again here. Now he's sending the fighters to the B cap, but I think he's already reacting towards the C cap. Now, I assume the enemy gearing wants to try to cap B, and the Kitakaze is probably going for C. Now, the Kitakaze is spotted, so there is really no point in sending planes there right now. And I guess he just disappeared. But he's found the gearing. The gearing is where we expected the gearing to be. Now, hopefully a few ships here have shots, and yeah, you can see immediately incoming shells. So, once again, this gearing just lost quite a few hit points, and simply because the carrier is flying away. Now, this doesn't provide the carrier with any experience, but it really helps the friendly team. Unfortunately, the friendly team is lacking ships that have firing angles on the gearing right now, I'm afraid. He also lost track of the gearing, probably because he is just focusing on his Strikecraft right now. He should really send those planes and respot the gearing. Then again, I mean, the gearing does have defensive fire. So, gearing can actually shoot down some planes, but I assume he will keep defensive fire for strike craft. So he is going to respot the gearing. And that Montana should have shots, but I'm afraid that Montana might just be the only one. I feel like he could have actually tried spotting the gearing a little bit sooner. There are some shells incoming, but it might just be too late. It's capped. But I mean, maybe somebody can punish that gearing. He also has strikecraft incoming, mind you. And we see the enemy Kitakaze here capping, but the Kitakaze is spotted and there are so many friendly ships, they should really be able to take care of that. Now here we saw another strafes from both carriers. And yeah, the fighters are once again fighting there. They are trying to outmaneuver each other, and it looks like now all fighter squadrons are locked. Now you can always get out of there with a strafe, I suppose. Meanwhile, we see the dive bombers come in, probably going for the Friedrich here. And there you go, some citadels, because why not screw somebody else over here? Now there are still the torpedo bombers, and the question is, what will he do with them? Now he is fighting here in the anti-air of the gearing, which is not ideal, but it keeps the gearing spotted, and keeping the gearing spotted is a pretty good thing. Although I'm not sure if, well, I guess those ships can actually shoot the gearing. And once again, the gearing can't do anything. The enemy carrier is trying. Not sure if he's winning that anti-air battle. But, you know, here come the torpedo bombers, and he's setting up a cross drop. Now, even in... well, I mean, the gearing isn't the biggest destroyer, and he's certainly has decent maneuverability, but yet there is a cross drop incoming. He's perfectly dodging the first salvo, it looks like. But what is he supposed to do against the second salvo? It's a cross drop, he's smoking here, but...
we sunk an enemy destroyer.
If he had smoked earlier, maybe he could have escaped something, but the gearing is again down, and not sure what the gearing could have done.
Capture that area.
He was just screwed over because the firepower of carriers is really, really scary right now. Now overall, it's each team has lost 3 ships, but the enemy team has caps and the friendly team does not. Now the friendly team lost both of their destroyers, that's a bit problematic. So in order to cap, they now need to send in some bigger ships. Also note that all the spotting is gone because all the friendly planes are going to rearm and the destroyers are gone. Which means the friendly team is pretty blind. I guess he could have kept some planes around here, but I don't know. He definitely wants to get his strike craft rearmed as soon as he can, and he kind of had to pull back the fighters while, I mean, there was an opportunity. Well, maybe not. I mean, he could have kept the fighters there to spot, but you know, the enemy lost all of his fighters, so if he just waits for the enemy fighters to return, all of his fighters would lose out, so he might just need to use this window to rearm his own fighters. But hey, friendly team is coming in here and is actually trying to take a cap. It looks like they might be able to find some pieced island cover here. Meanwhile, our carrier is probably deciding where to strike next. Now as a carrier you can pick off isolated ships, and the only one who can help those ships is the enemy carrier. Also, it looks like he is running low on fighters. Actually, those might just be his last... yeah, those are his last fighters that he is launching right now. Now on the sea cap, the enemy Kitakaze here, he is trying to cap. He's sending some fighters here to help spot, but it's probably not needed because there's a buffalo there. The buffalo is... well, I mean, the Kitakaze is spotted anyway because he's shooting, but buffalo would have also raided if the Kitakaze decides to smoke or something. Assuming that Kitakaze is on a suicide rush to torpedo. Then again, I mean, Kitakaze has good guns, but they're just not enough, even though the buffalo was on low health. So the friendly team might just be turning this around right now. Enemy team still in the lead. But the friendlies are taking the C cap, they have the B cap, and there is still like 8 minutes left. So, where does he want to strike again? There is a Friedrich on pretty low health. He has his dive bombers near. And picking off low health targets is very important. And that's also something the carrier is very good at, because the enemy team can't really drop into concealment or run away or hide behind islands, and there goes the enemy ship. Right, I mean, if you're facing regular ships, you can probably just get away by dropping into concealment if you run far enough, or maybe you can find some island cover, and then you can just get your heal going and return to the fight. So it's very important to finish off ships with heals, so that they are taken out of the game and can't recover their health. But you know, you can't run from a carrier. Carrier's planes are faster, he can just respot you, and unless there is somebody protecting you with anti-air, you're just screwed if the carrier is coming for you. And there he is going to drop on the Sao. He is so confident that he just uses one squadron on them, and his other squadrons target the Yamato. There you go, Sao is done for. Yamato is probably pretty done for too. He's coming in with the dive bombers and the torpedo bombers, and this is a double strike. Krakens unleashed.
We've got 2 of them.
I just feel dirty watching this Midway. But let's just be honest. I think I'll need a shower after this commentary. So, friendly team now is the only one who controls cap zones. And they also have more ships. They're still behind on points, but that should change shortly. Now, there is a Friedrich pushing the right flank. And, well, given enough time, he might actually be a problem for the carrier, I suppose. We don't know where the cruisers are. Now, the friendly carrier is out of fighter planes. The enemy carrier, I'm not so sure, but he might be out of fighter planes too. I mean, they mostly just shot down each other's fighters. Oh no, wait, he still has fighters. He still has one fighter. So yeah, I mean, basically both carriers just engaged each other in fighter battles, and no one ever had the opportunity to really just farm the strike craft, so this means both carriers, I think, had pretty much free reign. How is the enemy carrier doing so far? Enemy carrier has 3 kills, friendly carrier has 5 kills. It's pretty disgusting. So, enemy team is trying to take the sea cap. I mean, ship-wise they can still make a comeback, I suppose, if they take C now and then maybe push for B or something. And I mean, looks like the enemy carrier is running low on fighters as well. I mean, if there are no longer fighter planes in the battle, then it just comes to which carrier can, I guess, sink the enemy fleet faster. Because there seems to be plenty of strike craft still around. And look, there is a Friedrich. That Friedrich is, well, all alone. I mean, at this point in the battle, that's not so surprising. The last remaining fighters are engaging each other, and I think that's it for the friendly fighter squadron. But if the enemy only has 2 fighters left as well, so probably won't be a huge problem. So he is going for the dive bomber drop here. And well, that's, I guess, some respectable damage. But the torpedo bombers are on the way, and let's be honest, 2 torpedo bomber squadrons, I don't think that Friedrich stands any chance at all. It's not like his anti-air is good enough to shoot down the planes. Turning is pretty much pointless if a carrier gets a good drop in. There is absolutely nothing you can do. That's just a problem. There is absolutely nothing this Friedrich can do. He is getting dropped here, and even 1 torpedo bomber squadron seems to be enough. There is a high caliber. So that leaves another torpedo bomber squadron to, I don't know, take out the Kronstadt. So he's going for the low health target first. Finish that one off so it can't hurt anyone else. And there in comes another dive bomber squadron. So will that Kronstadt survive that? No, he won't. There is the second double strike. And that's the 9th. No, wait, that's the 8th kill. So, well, that only leaves the enemy Midway remaining. Yeah, I think this battle is over. So, you know what? Let's just speed up things a little bit and watch some planes. Planes are landing here. Next squadron is landing. He is starting some new ones. So we can see the enemy carrier still sending out some starcraft. There are the last fighters here. The last fighters will probably come in here in order to defend, I would assume. It's only 1 minute and 20 seconds left though, so... Let's see, enemy Midway is going down quite fast. Here come the dive bombers, and that's a win.
We've sunk an enemy aircraft carrier.
So here we are with the results. Etivaz earned himself 2,985 base experience, sunk 9 enemies, shot down 30 planes, and you know what? The enemy carrier wasn't even that bad. Oh boy. So I'd say this replay shows very much why I think a carrier change is needed indeed. Now it's not like other ships haven't managed amazing games and sinking 9 enemies or something, but it's like just really can't escape the carrier, you can't fight back, you can't shoot the carrier is safe on the other edge of the map and he's just picking off targets and you feel so entirely helpless if the carrier is coming for you. Now Etivaz earned himself 2 devastating strikes, a Confederate, 2 double strikes, a Kraken, a First Blood, the Mini Kraken and a High Caliber, scoring 271,000 points of damage. And don't misunderstand me, he played an amazing game. It takes skill to drop like that. I couldn't do it. I would be absolutely bad at carriers. So I don't want to take anything away from it. He played this very well, had an amazing battle, but I also feel like carriers are just broken. They have been since they existed, and I'm really looking forward to the carrier changes. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this, and I'll see you guys next time.